Eva Benefield. How do you spell your first name? EVA. And how old are you now? 23. What was your relationship to Doug Benefield? He was my father. And who was your mother? Renee Benefield. And we heard from the previous witness she died, unfortunately, at some time before this case, correct? Yes, ma'am. When did you first find out about someone named Ashley Benefield? It was August of 2016, about 9 months after her mom passed. Okay. And how did you find out about her? My dad was on the phone when he picked me up from school, and he had his phone on speaker, and they mentioned him having a girlfriend, and if he was going to bring his girlfriend to a conference that they had that weekend. And was that the first time you had any information that there might have been a girlfriend? Yes. Okay. How old were you at the time? I was 15. At the time, were you upset with him about that? No. I just told him that I trusted him, and if that's what made him happy, that I would be happy for him. And about how long after that did you find out they were married? It was 2 days after. And how did you find out that they were married? My dad came up into my room, and he said, "Eva, we need to have a chat downstairs with Ashley." She was at the house at the time, and I said, I don't think we need to. I understand that you're dating her and you're happy, but please just, give me my space a little bit. I don't want to have a conversation." And he said, "No, I think it's really important we do." And I said, "The only time that I would want to have a conversation with y'all is if you told me that you were going to propose." And when those words came out of my mouth, he told me that they were married. So that's how you found out they were married? Yes. Did Ashley eventually move into your house? Yes. And that was the house in South Carolina? Yes, ma'am. At the time, who all lived in the house? Just the three of you? Yes. How was their relationship together that you saw? They were just with each other all the time. It was very lovey-dovey. They were very touchy-feely, PDA. Any event with school or extracurricular that I was in, they were together. They'd go grocery shopping together, would travel together. They never left each other's side. Okay. And how did you and Ashley get along? It was friendly at first. Okay. You said at first? Yes. And then what happened? Over time, she tried to reprimand me a little bit more and kind of step into a motherly role, and I did not like that because it was so short after my mom passed away. Okay.
Relevance. Sustained.
And in Ashley's interactions with you, or interactions that she had, or disagreements that she had with your father, how did you observe her to act? Can you repeat the question? Sorry, it wasn't a good question. Whenever she had a disagreement with you, how did she act? It was almost temper tantrum-like. It was...
Objection. Character reference. Character reference. Overruled.
Okay, so it was temper tantrum-like, and you didn't sound like you were finished. What were you saying? She would go directly to my dad and tell him that I wasn't obeying. Okay. And did her reactions to you seem to be on the level of the situation, or did she get more angry at the situation? Usually they were overreactions over small things. Okay. And how about interactions with your dad? Did you ever hear her argue with your father? I heard her strongly voice her opinions over and over and over again. Okay. Now, you said over and over and over again. Is that something that you heard on a regular basis, or something you only heard once? It was on a regular basis. Okay. And when she was voicing her opinions to your father, was he ever reacting to that? No, he would just sit listen.
Did you ever see them fight?
No.
Verbally fight?
No.
Okay. Did you ever see them physically fight?
No.
How often would you say that Ashley and your father would disagree within your hearing?
Never.
Okay. You said if Ashley was trying to get her point across, that she would go on and on about that?
Yes.
Okay. So you don't term that as a disagreement?
No.
Okay. And what would you term that as?
My dad just listened to her, voice her concerns.
Okay. Did you ever hear your dad at any time yell at you?
No.
Did you ever hear your dad do something or say something that was controlling to her?
No.
Did you ever see or hear your dad threaten?
Objection waiting. Overruled.
Did you ever see or hear your dad threaten her?
No.
Did you ever see or hear your dad get physical with her?
No.
No further questions.
Cross. Yes. Good morning, Ms. Benefield.
Good morning.
We met previously in a deposition, correct?
Correct.
And I apologize to you for meeting you under these circumstances. I'm required to ask you a few questions based on the testimony that you've given us. You lived in the house at the time that Ashley and your father were first married.
Yes.
And you found out from your father that he had married Ashley when he introduced her to you.
It wasn't when I was first introduced. It was a day after.
So, the day after you said?
Yes.
Okay. So your mother had passed away approximately 8 months earlier?
9 months.
9 months earlier. And your father, with no advance knowledge, came and introduced you to his new wife.
Yes.
There was a hole in the ceiling of the kitchen in your home, correct?
Correct.
You know what that hole was, how it got there? I don't know if it will or not.
I would prefer to question.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Right, the whole obviously is the gunshot that Doug Benefield fired off
I'm not sure why the jury won't know that and why they don't want either to be the one to say it.
but they're already in the opening, so it's not a big secret. Whether or not that whether she knows or didn't know. If she didn't know, it's even a little bit more odd. That she knows. Let's bring back in Ray Pereira. This witness Boyer just heart goes out to what this young woman has to have endured. She lost her mother. Her dad starts dating this 20-something-year-old who now moves into the house after 13 days from meeting her, and then she loses her father. Your overall take on the effectiveness of her? What does she bring to the table for the state and for the defense?
She brings to the table humanizing the victim to say, like you said, Ted, that was my whole dad. And now I'm just an orphan because this woman murdered my dad. So that's what she brings to the table. She's going to tug at the hearts of the jurors. But also, she comes across as a biased witness. I think when he started questioning her, it was good to show some respect to say, I'm sorry, we're meeting under these circumstances, and we met under bad circumstances at the deposition. But he's going to have to ask her some tough questions to show that she is a biased witness. she's acting like there was no violence at all between her dad and the defendant. However, I think that all of those deposition transcripts are going to show that he was a violent person. And that's why he's trying to get into the hole and the kitchen ceiling to show that, you know what, maybe there was a side of your dad that you didn't witness, but it was there. But I think defense attorney is a little bit awkward in his transitioning into the questioning, and he's not setting the proper foundation, and he's coming across as awkward, which he's not. Questioning when it's too rough, the transition.
Strategy, being able to do that cross-examination in a way. I understand what you're saying. Maria, I do want to ask you about demeanor, because demeanor can be important. A jury is watching, the parties there inside of the courtroom, and there may be something of a demeanor they're looking for from Ashley Benefield when you had this young woman who was just a teenager at the time of her dad meeting Ashley Benefield. So this was her daughter for that period of time. But what are you getting from Ashley Benefield there, sitting at the defense table while she's watching this testimony from Eva?
She's trying to tug on the heartstrings of the jurors also. She's looking mighty pitiful, no makeup. She has dark circles under her eyes. Her eyebrows are not done. She did that on purpose because she doesn't want to come across as a vixen. But again, her transition from looking all fly during the pretrial hearings and everything is a little bit stark. And it looks like, you know what, you're trying to manipulate the jurors by trying to look pitiful and harmless and with your, two French braids and looking all innocent, but that's not how you looked everywhere else. And I'm sure some of the jurors saw her before the trial. So it just looks like, hey, girl, stop it right now.
The jury might see some pictures. We don't know what they'll have to compare it to, but it might have been exhibits.
Absolutely, yeah. The make, not over, the make under she had. Let's get a break, and then we'll come back. We'll pick up the rest of the cross-examination. I think let's talk about this.